Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. As far as tonight's AEW Dynamite does go, I will say it was an easy show to watch. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was just one of those average Dynamites, but it flowed really well, I felt. I thought that the opening was awesome. The Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Don Callis family stuff was really, really good. But then the rest of the show was just there. It was just there. Nothing overly special. We did get the Hangman thing where he made MJF look like a punk bitch. Basically, he's like, boy, get out my ring. Is how it felt like. Boy, get out my ring. But other than that, those are the two things that really stood out to me. Well, there's the video with the former House of Black. Now they're probably going to be called the Hellhounds. That was a little bit of a standout thing for me. A, because the timing of when they aired that video. And B, because basically they've told us Malachi is gone and we're no longer in his shadow. So see how that all plays out. He is expected to go back to WWE. Could have been some teases for him on Monday Night Raw. We don't know. So we'll see how that all does play out. But yeah, I think those are the three big things for me tonight. The opening, the deal with Hangman where he squashed the kid. I don't even think I got the kid's name. And then Daniels coming out afterwards, basically confirming the Texas Death Match was his retirement match. I'm glad they did that. They were like, hey, you beat me up so bad that I can never wrestle again. So kudos on them for not even waiting and just letting us think that it was his last match, even though we knew it was his last match and so forth. But some good things on the show. We got new stuff built up for Australia, which is the opener, the tag team match. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay teaming up, seemingly maybe for the first time, to take on Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita. And then there's going to be an overarching storyline for the next, how many weeks do we have? 1, 2, 3. The next 3 weeks, the storyline is going to be, how does Harley Cameron get a match for Australia? She tried to fight Mone. She tried to get a match with Mercedes. She sang her a song and everything, and wanted a match with Mercedes, and Mercedes is just like, yeah, have fun with that. So that should be an interesting one. How does Harley Cameron get a match at Grand Slam Australia? Here's the question I'm going to propose to you guys. Harley Cameron on the main card or the pre-show? And does this have a pre-show? We don't even really freaking know. Because we still don't know how they're going to air it. Hold on. I need to go to the AEW Twitter page really fast and see if on the graphic for the tag match that was announced, if they put the date, time. Let me see. Hold on. Actually, they may not have. They showed the graphic on television, so I may need to go. Okay. So now, this is interesting. All right, I'm going to pull this up on the screen really fast. It refreshed the whole page when I pulled it off. They've kind of gone back on advertising here. So let's pull this up on the screen. So as far as Grand Slam Australia does go, it is now being advertised as TNT Stream on Max. Same as before, but no time anymore. Before, they were saying 8/7 Central. Now it just says Saturday, February 15th, Brisbane, Australia, TNT Stream on Max. So the big question is, what time is it airing? When can we watch it? Doesn't seem like we're going to watch it live. Maybe. I doubt it airs at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m. live. What they should do, smart thing would be, air it live on Max, live everywhere on Max, and then rerun it on TNT later. Whether that is later Saturday afternoon before the NBA stuff starts, Sunday afternoon before the NBA stuff starts. So, yeah, still don't really know. Still kind of just scratching our heads about this as far as when can we watch Grand Slam Australia. Still don't know. We got 3 weeks. But with all of that, and that was weird. Okay, with all of that, let me pop up my notes here. With all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out by heading over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get early access to videos. You get exclusive access to live stream watch-alongs like we're going to be doing this Sunday. We're going to be doing a watch-along of, I don't know which one yet. We're going to do a live watch-along of a Royal Rumble. We're going to do a live watch-along Sunday, and then we might do another one next week leading up to the Royal Rumble. So keep that keep that in mind. If you are a channel member at the $5 tier or higher, you will get access to our watch-along this Sunday evening, afternoon. I'll have all the info on exactly what we're going to watch and when we're going to watch it tomorrow. So keep an eye on the community tab or on social media, YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Twitter. I will let you guys know if you are a channel member or a Patreon subscriber, patreon.com/PW Unlimited, when and where, well, when, you know where, when you can watch the live watch along with me of, I want to say we might do the 92 Rumble. Hey, I might do 2 Rumbles. Or we might just do the whole 92 Rumble pay-per-view. Still going to figure it out. I'm going to look through and see, because I asked the viewers, what is your favorite? What do you think is the best Rumble? So we're going to tabulate. We're going to watch your guys' favorite Rumbles. But also remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting some of the new stuff in Fortnite with Godzilla and Kong. Maybe some of the new kicks. They got some new Peely kicks, some new Peely slippies, as they call them. Nana slippies, actually. Or you're getting some of those new dress-up high-stakes club skins. Use our code PW Unlimited at checkout. You'll be supporting us at no extra cost. Again, that's PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Not Epic Game Store purchases. And for some reason, teleprompter just shut off. Hold on, let me hit the switch to reset it. Unplug it. There's no switch. I unplug it and plug it back in. There it goes. For some reason the prompter turned off. You guys don't like it when I look down like this at my notes. So we turn the prompter on and we're looking up like this at the notes. I also shifted windows and screens, and there we go. So, AEW Dynamite. Here's the one thing I gotta say. One of the things that AEW has done really well in 2025 is finding unique looking buildings, or at least finding buildings that they can make look different, make not look the same every single week. And I appreciate that, because we watch a WWE show, a Raw or a SmackDown, it all looks the exact same. Unless they're in a building where they know they can maximize seating and they do the super shrunk down stage, and then that looks different. Like they had for the first Raw on Netflix, and then they've done it in Chicago and a couple other places. In the past, AEW's done the same thing. Every building looks the same. Other than like if they go to a slightly older building, like say the Kia Forum, where it doesn't have all like the video boards and everything, then those look different, because instead of having the video board graphics around the building, they put up the banners and stuff. But other than that, usually it's like every AEW show looks the exact same. But in 2025, they've been going to these different, unique, smaller buildings And it's actually been paying off. Because the way the show was set up tonight, and they had like the trusses to hold up the lighting rig and everything, because we've heard the news, is they needed to create, for certain buildings, new lighting rigs and new ways to hold the lighting, because certain buildings can't just hang them like they normally do. And this seems like might be one of those. And it looked great. It looked awesome. It looked different. And it was utilized. That's the other thing. It was utilized. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay climbed one of these trusses, lighting trusses, got a promo from it. Well, Kenny did, and then said, "Get me down. I'm scared. Scared of heights." So kudos to AEW for doing things a little different now and making things look a little bit more unique. They had Hammerstein at the end of the year. And so, yeah, I like when the show, granted, it probably is easier for them just to go into a building and do the same setup every single day, week, whatever. But it helps the perception of the shows when A, they're in the smaller buildings that they can pack, and B, they don't always look the same. I know I'm shotting a dead horse now and just keep saying the same thing over and over and over, but it's a thing that I really wanted to compliment because it's cool. It's awesome. It's great. Make things look different. Just like back in the day, people would love it when we'd go to watch a WWE pay-per-view and like, ooh, what's the stage going to look like? Ooh, yeah, Raw and SmackDown look the same every week, but ooh, this pay-per-view stage, Backlash, they got the hooks. SummerSlam, what are they going to have? Oh, we're in LA. Give me like a Hollywood marquee. So it's like, I loved when you have either the specific fancy cool stages for pay-per-views, or you can just make every week look different depending on the building you are in. But as far as this show does go, the show opens up with Excalibur welcoming us alongside of Taz, and then he throws it to Tony Schiavone in the ring. Tony Schiavone says that we're going to have a face-off, a little bit of a face-to-face, I guess you would say, and he introduces both Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. Both come out to loud ovations from the crowd. That's the other thing, because it's, and we get this with like NXT when they go in the smaller buildings. Because it is a packed crowd in that building, it sounds a lot better. It sounds like it's a 10,000 fan attended show. When really, what was tonight? Let's go to Wrestle Ticks really fast. Wrestle Ticks. Tonight's Dynamite did in the Knoxville Civic Coliseum, 2,700. No, set up for 2,700. I always look at that wrong. Set up for 2,700. They did 2,500. That was as of 4 hours ago. So when the show started. That's awesome. But this 2,500 sounded like 7, 8, 9, 10,000 at certain times, especially during that opening segment. So great decision for AEW to go to the smaller buildings. Again, like with NXT. You watch NXT, and they're in these 1,500 seat. Perfect example. When The Rock was in the ring in LA for NXT New Year's Evil, and they had 1,700 people. That 1,700 at times screaming for The Rock sounded like the 18,000 the night before in the Intuit Dome for Raw. So it's all about maximizing space and not having emptiness and dead zones in the building. Plus, miking a building properly helps as well. But anyways, Shivani said that it's an honor to be in the ring with two of the all-time greats and gives the floor to Ospreay, who said he's thankful Omega is here and not dead. They're used to throwing fists at one another. But he's no longer with the Don Callis family and said Omega came back at a really bad time. Jon Moxley has the AEW World title, and that's something he wants. But he can't shake the Don Callis family. He can't do it on his own. Omega takes the mic and tells Ospreay, just stop. Omega said that Ospreay didn't remember the last time they faced each other in the ring. So Omega reminds him that was Forbidden Door, where Ospreay nearly broke his neck and stabbed him in the head with the same screwdriver that Don Callis still has the scar on his head from. Omega said, what makes him better than Callis? Well, it's because Ospreay was trying to prove he was the best and better than Omega. Something he doesn't believe then or now. It took diverticulitis and Omega being out for a year for people to finally realize who Will Ospreay really is. But now the number one is back. Ospreay can go back to being, well, Kenny's number two, as he will never trust or help someone like Ospreay. That didn't last long. Things get intense. Ospreay got in Omega's face, and then Don Callis comes out. Gus called them prima donnas. When Omega bolts up the ramp at Dawn, Dawn gets all scared and immediately tries to run away, and out comes Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Ospreay debates helping initially, but heads up and fights Fletcher to the ring, where he tried to snap Hurricane Rana. Fletcher caught him, but Ospreay turned it into a handspring corkscrew kick. Takeshita attacks from behind, but he gets dropped with a snap dragon. Omega then gets the crowd going, tries a Terminator dive, but eats a Fletcher thrust kick. Fletcher boots Ospreay over the barricade into the fans as Fletcher leapt off of a chair onto him. Callis starts waving in like this, and out comes Brian Cage and Lance Archer. And it's too many for Omega and Ospreay. Archer hit a low blow on Ospreay and clobbered him into the stands as they brawl into the merchandise area. Archer then slid Ospreay down on the table, wanting a chokeslam when Omega appeared and made the save. Omega and Ospreay then avoided a double chokeslam and instead hit a double suplex on Archer through the table. Cage then chucked a trash can at Omega, and it's still 3-on-2, with Fletcher and Cage beating down Ospreay, while Takeshita fights with Kenny in the arena. Takeshita then wanted a brainbuster on the concrete, but security broke things up just long enough for Omega to avoid it. Ospreay then fought off Fletcher and Cage as he was popped up by Fletcher and grabs the balcony, shimmies up it, and does a freaking moonsault off the top of this balcony where Will Ospreay sent out a tweet later going, "That's the highest thing I've ever flipped off of or jumped off of." Meanwhile, Omega climbed the lighting rig and hit a big moonsault off of it, while Ospreay did the same, as we just stated, hitting a massive moonsault onto the pile. Ospreay and Omega then both climbed the lighting rig and stared down at the Don Callis family. Kenny said, next time, when they do this again, they'll put Callis 6 feet under. Omega said, Ospreay, shouldn't have been mad at you. Should have apologized. Instead of Grand Slam, how about it? It's me and you against Fletcher and Takeshita. Don loses his shit. Oh, no. And the music of Kenny Omega plays. Kenny says goodbye and good night. Now, help get me down from here because I'm afraid of heights. Which is funny as hell. I laughed so hard at that. Fletcher especially gave a long stare up. And yeah, this match is going to be freaking amazing. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. Oh my God. This match is going to rule. What match could be better than this at the freaking Grand Slam show? Like, we don't know what Moxley match we're going to get. Is it Moxley and Cope? This would probably be better than Moxley and Cope. What Mercedes match are we getting? Because we know Mercedes is going to have a match. She said it tonight. It'll be better than any Mercedes match. So, it'll be better than Mariah May and Toni Storm, most likely. So, it's like, man. Put this as the main event. I don't care if the world title's on the line or not. Put this as the goddamn main event. But yeah, great opener here. I thought this was awesome. Also, we got a really cool, great, excellent history package of Pac in AEW. This was shown hyping Pac up ahead of his match in the main event against Cope later on tonight. Still can't get over that. Cope. Because all I think is, when I hear or read Cope, all I think is goddamn, my mind just went blank. Nigel McGuinness saying Cope is a dope. Oh, Cope is a dope. You go backstage to John Moxley, Marina Shafir, and Wheeler Yuta. Moxley said Cope went to sleep in 2011 and woke up in 2025, not knowing what he's gotten himself into. There's plenty of weak individuals here, and Moxley is more than willing to throw him into the pile. Moxley said that Cope's neck is hanging on by a thread, just like Bryan Danielson's was, as he, put him out of his misery, also along with Darby Allin. Actually, he threw Darby down a flight of stairs, which we've seen before. He's been thrown downstairs at Daly's place. And Darby just needed a way off TV so he can go train and climb Mount Everest. Moxley said when Cope goes to the doctor and gets the bad news, Moxley won't lose sleep at all. He doesn't have time to sleep. He doesn't have time to relic of the past. When, he's trying to build a future. Okay, cool, whatever. I can't freaking stand this shit. This Death Rider stuff is the freaking worst. It's just dumb. I hate it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I hate it. Not a fan of the Death Rider stuff at all. So then we get AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. Private Party defending against the Hurt Syndicate. Did anybody, and I mean anybody, think that god dang Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin were not winning the titles tonight? Like, and be honest. Be honest. Did anybody think that Private Party were going to retain? Now, if the Hurt Syndicate were feuding with other people and there was somebody we thought that may be able to screw them, sure. But there wasn't. There isn't. There's not. It was straight up, and there was nobody that we thought of that was going to interfere. So, yeah. It's more of a showcase than anything on how the Hurt Syndicate are going to hurt people because of we hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people. That's what they do. That's what their music says. So we get a fast start here from Zay and Quinn, who wanted to push the pace early, but ultimately Lashley wasn't having it, and he mowed them both down before tagging in Shelton. And I love whenever, so MVP's on commentary, and he's always going to say, the almighty Bobby Lashley, the standard of excellence, Shelton Benjamin. And these two guys, for as old as they are, and I'll look this up really fast. Bobby Lashley. Bobby's 48. Shelton's 49. These guys coming up on 50 years old, don't look it. These guys look great. Their work is great. They seem like they're doing some of the best stuff they've done ever in their careers. So Zay and Quinn were able to connect with the silly string at one point, neckbreaker senton combo, but Benjamin was out of one, kicked out of one. I think it was Excalibur may have noted, Bobby Lashley, he's not one for tag team action. He's never really been in a proper tag team. Shelton Benjamin, former tag team champion, one of the best tag teams we've ever seen, world's greatest tag team, him and Charlie Haas. Former, I want to say, Ring of Honor tag team champions as well. But Lashley ate a cutter while on the apron as Benjamin was low-bridged, allowing Zay and Quinn to try a double dive, only to get caught with double overhead belly-to-belly throws. Benjamin then sent Jay into the clutches of Lashley, who absolutely flattened him with a spine buster through the announce table and into a commercial. Back from the break, it was Quinn flying solo with his partner out and about, kind of just out and down, actually, being tended on by the doctors. Benjamin slammed him repeatedly from the barricade edge of the ring, and the crowd chants, one more time, one more time, one more time, which Benjamin, well, obliged. MVP on commentary reminds us, that these two, they're not out here to make friends. They're not out here to make the fans happy. They're out here to win championships and win matches. Because, well, we hurt people. And then, I don't know if the crowd heard him or whatnot, but they start chanting, we hurt people, when they're fucking beating the shit out of Zay. Quinn flips out of a blocked kick into an enziguri, and there's a double down. Zay makes the tag and hits a pop-up dropkick. Benjamin missed a dive at one point as Zay hit a diving flatliner, and Quinn hit a 450 spur too. There's a rewind kick from Benjamin as Lashley tagged in to a huge chant as he flattened Zay with a spear for a 2. Quinn then broke it up though. Benjamin then took Quinn to Suplex City as Lashley followed this up with a huge spine buster. Benjamin then hit a step-up knee in the corner, and Zay stumbles out of the corner, boom, right into a huge spear from Lashley, knocks him inside out. 1, 2, 3, new AEW World Tag Team Champions. It was great. This was awesome. Hurt Syndicate looked dominant. They dominated these two, but at least it wasn't a total squash. Like, it was a kind of squash, but at least there was at least points where Private Party got a little bit of offense in. So I'm like, cool. Post-match, Mark Briscoe checked on Zay and Quinn. Lashley, Benjamin, and MVP celebrated with their new gold. We got a video package basically hyping up Mariah May versus Toni Storm at Grand Slam. And I'm going to say right now, Mariah May has a really good voiceover voice. Like, when she narrates these videos, Granted, the sound mixing's not well because sometimes her voice is mixed too low, and so we could almost not hear her. But she's got a really good voice for narrating. Like just her voice and her dialect is really good for narrating segments like this. Just say it. But this was really good highlight. There was a really good highlight video about the history, as it was May talking about how AEW doesn't deserve her, and she can't wait to meet Toni Storm on Collision. We go backstage, and Toni Storm's with Renee Paquette, who said that she can't wait for this Saturday. And then Harley Cameron interrupts and wishes her good luck in Australia. Storm said, hey, there's no reason you can't wrestle in Australia as well. As both start machine gunning off Australian references, I don't even know. And then Storm says, you know what, Harley, I'll see you in Australia. And Harley's like, really? You think I can get a match? Oh, okay. And then Renee's just baffled by everything she just saw. So basically they're telling us Harley Cameron will be on the card. Now she's on the pursuit of finding an opponent. What match will Harley Cameron have for Grand Slam Australia? We will know in 3 weeks or less. Alex Marvev is backstage. He's with Jeff Jarrett, who immediately is cut off by Karen Jarrett. She said, Jeff, getting down in the mud with MJF last week was not who he is. She didn't like it at all. She didn't like who he seems to be becoming. Jeff cut her off and said, I got this. His music hits. He gave her a kiss, and he walked out into the arena. Jarrett comes out and says it's great to be back in Knoxville, the volunteer state. Says he was wondering what he was going to say here tonight in memory of Jerry. Here tonight, a memory of Jerry Lawler. Jarrett got his ass kicked in this ring by Jerry Lawler before in this city, and he got in some verbal jabs before heading to the back. Lawler told him, don't even get in the gutter with his opponent, as Jarrett remembered the advice and said MJF will find out exactly who the last outlaw is. Jarrett said they'll settle it this Southern style. No lights, no cameras. He's taking MJF out to the woodshed to whoop his ass. Jarrett said that he wants to talk about the fans who inspired him to enter the Owen. They gave him a gift at 57 years old to become the world champion. Jarrett said that it's time to get down to business. And then he calls out goddamn John Moxley. When Jarrett was ready for Moxley, he was attacked from behind by Claudio Castagnoli instead, who said no one gets to Moxley without going through him first. Claudio gave one piece of advice for the last outlaw, saying, stay out of our business. He went to leave, and Jarrett recovered and said Castagnoli going to have to kill him to stop him. Claudio slowly turned around, as Jarrett said, if he beats Claudio next week, he gets an AEW world title shot. Castagnoli said beating Jarrett lifeless is an interesting proposition. So I'm on. Jarrett celebrated and said, see you next week. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? What, is Jeff Jarrett going to beat Claudio and then get the shot at Grand Slam? Is our Grand Slam main event going to be, I doubt it, going to be John Moxley defending the title against Jeff Jarrett? No. There's no way Jeff Jarrett beats Claudio. I'm just going to say it right now. There's no way Jeff Jarrett beats Claudio. We had another highlight video hyping up Megan Bayne being in the gauntlet match last week and basically telling us, hey, she's here and she's here to stay. This then leads to our next match. It's Swerve Strickland against AR Fox. They said on social media, this match is happening because, well, they've had beef in the past and they've had matches in the past. Like, this was a nothing happened match. Also, if you're wondering, we were supposed to get Samoa Joe versus Nick Wayne. Well, because of all the snow and travel issues, that match couldn't happen. Tony said it will happen at a future date. But that's why we didn't get Samoa Joe and Nick Wayne tonight. I don't know who couldn't make it, if it was both or just one, but there's travel issues that made it so that match couldn't happen. I know there were some people that got to the building way later than normal because of the travel, because having to drive in with the snow, having to get flights canceled and rerouted and stuff. So, yeah. As far as this match does go, they started out quick, as these two know each other pretty dang well, as they've been fighting each other for the better part of a decade now, off and on, of course. Strickland sent Fox to the floor, where he hit a moonsault off the apron before going back inside, wanting a diving uppercut, that is, which Fox avoided and got the boots up. Ricochet was shown walking backstage with some gold scissors in his pocket, and then we go back to the ring. Strickland hits a misdirect shoulder tackle, rolling suplex from Strickland, and then he's in control as we go to a commercial break. Back from the break, Fox was able to hit a spinning moonsault from the top rope to the outside, but as he went to follow up with the springboard inside, Strickland cut him off and hit a fireman's carry into a power slam. Strickland successfully hit a diving uppercut to the back as he signaled for the house call, but out came Ricochet. Ricochet ran to the apron, and he had scissors in hand, attempting to stab a Swerve, but he was unsuccessful. Prince Nana then had a steel pipe and chased Ricochet off with it, and I'm just sitting here going, what the fuck are we doing? Come on, really? Air Fox tried to take advantage here of the distraction. He was able to hit a pump kick in the corner, followed up with a low main pain, but only got 2 off of it. Fox then missed a follow-up 450 splash, but then rolled through big pressure and got a 2. Strickland was still able to hit the rolling flatliner, house call, Swerve stomp, and pin him to pick up the win. So there we go. Swerve wins. Afterwards, Swerve offers a handshake to Fox until Ricochet was shown on the big screen. Ricochet said next week, everyone will be forced to hear what he has to say, and shows that he's holding scissors to the throat of Prince Nana. Ricochet said that there's a new landlord in town and rent is due, as he then bails as he Swerve start to run to the back to make the save. What is this all? This has been going on since December, and I still don't understand why. Because Swerve laughed at Ricochet for getting punked out by the Hurt Syndicate, and then, the fans threw toilet paper at him, and now Ricochet wants revenge, I guess. I mean, the story's there, I guess-ish, but it's kind of shitty. I'm just going to say it. The story's there, and we know what the story is. But in my opinion, some may like it, some may not. I don't know. It's whatever you like and don't like. It's shitty to me. I'm not a fan of this. Granted, the match we're going to get in Atlanta is probably going to be pretty darn good. But I just don't know. Story's been hit and miss. We got highlights of last week's main event, Jon Moxley and Powerhouse Hobbs. We then see the face-off between Hobbs and Big Bill on Collision. Then we get New York Minute. Chris Jericho said that unfortunately, the learning tree failed last week on Collision as Big Bill did his words of wisdom before being scolded by Jericho, who said learning moments only work if you actually learn from them. When will Bill take the knowledge Jericho has bestowed upon him? Bill thought about it and said, Hobbs won the match last week, but he didn't beat me. Hobbs can't beat me, so this Saturday, Bill is coming for Hobbs. Jericho and Brian Keith then give each other a smirk and a nod, and Bill walks off. Cool. So then there's some dude in the ring, some enhancement-looking guy, but MJF comes out instead and tells him, hey, get the hell out of the ring. The guy obliges, and MJF goes off on Jeff Jarrett, and I'm just like, this again? Are you fucking kidding me? Really? I'm going to say right now, MJF has cooled off big time. Big time. He is not as high level, top tier as he felt before he left to go do some movies. Where he felt even at like All In last year. After the All In match, he kind of just, he just seems like a dude. He just seems like a dude. Nothing special. Just the same guy doing the same shtick for the last 5 years, and it's getting goddamn old. I'm going to say it right now. MJF just feels like the same dude for the last 5 years with the same shtick, saying the same things. Hey, you fat twat in the front row. And it's just getting old. Calling people trailer trash and this and that, and I'm better than you. And it's just, I'm over it. I'm getting it. I used to really like MJF in his promos. But now they're the same every single week. It's repetitive. Nothing new. Nothing different. Come on, guy. Come on, guy. Anyways. When MJF said that he'd helped Jarrett win the AEW World title and wanting the first shot at the title, it wasn't because he believed in Jarrett. It was because, well, if I help Jarrett win the title, that's the easiest route to me to win the title back. And, well, Jarrett can't do it on his own anyways. He said by the time Claudio Castagnoli is done beating the brains out of him next week, Jarrett will realize it. MJF said pro wrestling doesn't love Jeff Jarrett anymore, and neither do the fans. Sometimes you're better off making a deal with the devil instead of defying him instead. Then like a Hangman comes out, marches down to the ring, gets in MJF's face, and basically tells him, "Boy, get out of my ring." Basically. And MJF's just like, "Okay, yes, sir. All right, I'm gone." So with MJF squirreling to the back last week, the way he just kind of scampered off when he threw Karen at Jeff, and then the way he cowered to Hangman tonight, "Yep, I'm good. Okay, bye." They really made MJF look like a fucking punk. Made MJF look like a fucking dweeb. They ain't doing him no favors. You know who else got no favors? This kid that faced Hangman. Tyler something. That's all I heard. I heard him say Tyler on commentary. Hangman beat the dog piss out of this kid. Page wasted no time with the boot and a massive clothesline and got the win. Then, after getting the win, hit the Angel's wings. And this was perfectly done. Because he puts over that his clothesline is massive. He's got one of them JBL Stan Hansen clotheslines that's going to knock you the F out. But in beating Christopher Daniels in the Texas Death Match, he's now adopted Daniels' special move, his signature move, his finisher, the Angel's Wings, as his own. He told you that. Without, I guess you could say, taking any stink off that clothesline. So he's got the buckshot lariat. Now he's just got a regular clothesline that's going to take your head off. But speaking of Christopher Daniels actually made his way out. And he stood up at the top of the ramp with a neck brace on. Hangman got up to the top of the ramp and right into his face as Daniels was like, "Hey, I'm not going to fight you anymore." And Hangman's just like, "What do you want? You want to fight? You want to fight?" And he's like, "I want to tell you something. I always just wanted to help you. I wanted to be your friend. And I knew I went that in all the wrong ways. And because of that, we had our fight last week in one of the most brutal fights of all time against one of the most brutal men there is. And because of that fight, because of that last buckshot that you gave me, my doctors have now advised me that I never get back in the ring again. And that Texas Death Match was my last match. Are you happy? Are you happy now, Hangman?" Daniels then leaves, and Page was left contemplating the news that he was just told. And then he shoves the cameraman to the side. So they did tell us here, Christopher Daniels is now retired. He is done in the ring. And this man's been going since the early 90s. This man has been wrestling since... When was Christopher Daniels' first match? He's probably been wrestling as long as Jeff Jarrett. He debuted in 1993. Think about this. Christopher Daniels has been around so long and wrestled for so many different places that at one point, Vince Russo wanted to make him the higher power. It wasn't going to be Vince. "It was me, Austin. It was me all along." No. Vince Russo at one point pitched Christopher Daniels as being the higher power. Anyways. We got a Mercedes Mone interview backstage. She's celebrating all the belts she's got. She got balloons with her. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you got balloons for? Renee says, "What's next?" Mercedes says that she's always wanted to be a world traveling champion and can't wait to see who steps up and faces her in Australia. She's like, "I fought in Japan and in England, and now I'm going to go fight in Australia." And Harley Cameron comes up with the guitar and starts singing. "Wanna ride on the Monet train." I don't know I can't remember the melody she was singing at, but it's basically she kept saying, "Ride on the Monet train, ride on the Monet train, feel the wrath on the Monet train, feel the wrath on the ride on the Monet train." And Mercedes is like feeling the song, and then was like, "Wait, you haven't won a match all year. You haven't won a match ever on television. Why would I give you a shot at the title? You never won a match on AEW TV." Hard no. And she walks off, and Harley looks all dejected. She's like, "Man." And Renee's like, "Hey, at least it was a good song." And Harley goes, "It was. But man, like, she's like dejected. It was like, I thought that was my shot. Again, Harley Cameron, Big Vinny V of F4W Online said it the best. Harley Cameron has to be one of the most talented people in all of pro wrestling. She wrestles and gets better almost every match she does. She's a great singer. She can play the crap out of her guitar. And she does ventriloquism. She's a ventriloquist. Like, great ventriloquist. If you didn't see the video she posted over the holidays hyping up her cameos, like, really good. Throwing her voice and doing the stuff with the dummy. Like, Harley Cameron is talented beyond belief. AEW, I could almost say has struck gold with Harley Cameron. Whereas WWE has done stuff with her, like the Shotzi Scarlet video song things. They've done like 2 of those, I think, produced by or in conjunction with WWE. But she wasn't a wrestler then. I don't even know if she had aspirations to be a wrestler then. And then she came and worked for AEW, and they turned her into a wrestler. So, yeah, Harley Cameron. I can't say enough good stuff about Harley Cameron. Are her matches great matches? No. But am I entertained every time she's on my screen? 99% of the time, yeah. So then we got Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart. Hayter got the early advantage, taking things to the outside. Hart tried battling back, only to get sent crashing into the steel steps. Back inside, a nice missile drop kick by Hayter got a near fall, as Hart again responded with a charging corner lariat. Hayter got a boot up, tried to go to the second rope, but Hart swept out the leg and pounced on top of her for a 2. Go to commercial break. When we come back, Hart was in control, but Hayter was able to kind of cut her off in the corner and hit a back superplex in a double down spot. Both kind of struggled to get to their feet, and they slowly got up, and then Hayter sidestepped Hart and backdropped her, and then hit her with a German suplex. Hart kind of fell awkwardly on her shoulder 3 different times here. Didn't look good. The third one, Hart clutched her head, and I'm just like, oh no. Hopefully she didn't just get a concussion. But kept on going, finished the match. Seemed good. She stumbled to her feet into a spine buster. There's a 2 off of it. Hayter then sank in a half crab, but Hart got to the bottom rope to break the hold. Hart managed to apply a flying octopus hold, but Hayter countered into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Hart then pulled the hair to escape and hit a crucifix bomb for a close 2. There's a sliding sledgehammer to the back of the neck by Hart, who opted to pose, allowing Hayter to hit a Hayter breaker and a wild Hayterade to pick up the victory. So Jamie Hayter does pick up the win, but then picks up a mic afterwards and was like, hey, you may be here alone. No friends by your side. You don't got your big 2 men with you right now. You're just sitting there in the corner by yourself. But I've won one. You've won one. Whenever you're ready for number 3, let me know. And then Jamie Hayter walks off, interacts with a fan in the crowd, and yeah, basically tell us we're going to get another one of these at some point. The tiebreaker, the rubber match. That wasn't bad. There's like 1 or 2 little meh spots. Other than that, not bad at all. Powerhouse Hobbs addresses Big Bill ahead of their collision match this Saturday. Hobbs said he'll be waiting for Bill in the parking lot. So they're not having a match, they're having a parking lot brawl? I don't know. I thought it was announced as a match. Okay, so the official graphic here that hold on. Yeah, the graphic said, Big Bill calls out Powerhouse Hobbs. Swerve's backstage, panicking with Prince Nana. No, pacing. I wrote panicking, but he was pacing now that I think about it. He's screaming, 2 weeks? I ain't waiting 2 weeks. The Lion finally gets his hands on the road next week. Ricochet, I'm coming for you. We got a pre-recorded video. This was weird timing because we just had the Julia Hart match. And then all of a sudden we get a no longer House of Black video package. It's her, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, I mean. King said for years, they've had a voice to guide them. The voice, it was deafening, but now it's silent. Matthews said that they're done living in his shadow. Hart said that it's time to honor themselves. No leaders, no masters, no gods, just violence. As when they bark together. Also, they got a dog with them in the video. And so the trademark has been filed for, I think it was Hellhounds or something like that. I think that's going to be their new name. Malachi Black is gone. His contract's up late February, early March, from what we're hearing. And this is just further confirmation that he's done with AEW. They're moving on with the group, but without him. I mean, heck, Buddy should have been gone by now from AEW, but Tony threw him such a big boatload of cash, he couldn't say no. Literally. Buddy's like, I'm not re-signing my contract. When it's up, I'm leaving. And Tony goes, blank check, basically. No, I can't lose you. How much you want? I don't know if that's exactly how it went down. Probably not how it went down. But basically the word was, Buddy told him, I'm not even going to negotiate when my contract's up. I'm leaving. And Tony just gave him such a ridiculously high number for a new deal that it would be stupid of Buddy to say no. Would have been dumb of Buddy to say no. So, Buddy's locked in. And this was as of last February, I want to say. So Buddy's locked in for quite a few more years. He's got like two to 3 more years left, I would say. We don't know if he signed a 2 or a 5 year, or 3 or a 5 year deal. But before we talk about our main event here, Cope versus Peck, we'll talk about our sponsor, David's Cookies. When it comes to delicious, there's nothing quite like David's Cookies 5-pound cookie and brownie tin. Imagine the joy of opening a tin filled with an irresistible assortment of freshly baked cookies and rich, fudgy brownies. Perfect for sharing with family, gifting to friends, or indulging yourself. This tin is packed with love and flavor. Whether it's for a special occasion or just because, make every moment sweeter with David's Cookies 5-pound cookie and brownie tin. Order now with our link in the description below. Hit that QR code on the screen or use our link pwunlimited.co/David's Cookies now to get yourself or someone special that ultimate dessert experience. Wow, I just did that whole match muted. God dang it. God dang it. It's supposed to unmute me when it comes back from the ad, and it didn't. My God. Let's do it again. Let's talk about this match again. I apologize. So we go to our main event. It's Cope versus Pac. And basically they start things out kind of slow. They're feeling each other out. There's some groundwork early. Well, that was until, there was a head scissors that sent Pac to the outside. Both took turns sending each other to the apron until Cope finally swept out the leg of Pac and dropped him face first with a Cazadora on the steel steps. Pac was sent crashing into the barricade as Cope slowly went to break the count and keep the fight going, jumping back to the outside and slamming Pac on commentary. Pac then kicked out the leg and slammed the side of Cope's head into the edge of the ring, allowing Pac to pounce. The referee kind of pushed him aside to check on Cope. This lasted a minute or so, maybe not a full minute, but Pac hit a slingshot dive and stayed in control with going through a commercial break. Cope then fought back with a John Woo dropkick and launched Pac clear across the ring. A flapjack and a big-time sky high from Cope got him a near fall, but it took too long to follow up. And the story they're telling here with Adam Copeland, with Cope, is he's beat down. He's on his last leg. He's old. He's hurt. He's not the same as he used to be, and he's lost a tick. The delay did allow Pac to kick the leg, hit a series of soul butts, but a Cope misdirect lariat turned Pac inside out. An impaler DDT connected, and Cope kind of was slow to capitalize again. Cope wanted to go for a spear, but Pac leapfrogged over it as Cope got a fireman's carry, only for Pac to turn into a standing brutalizer. As Cope slowly started to fade, he faded and fell into the ropes, which led to the hold having to be broke. Pac wanted the gut wrench German, but opted for a thrust kick to the neck. Then the bounce back German. Referee Brian Swerve again kind of stopped things to check on Cope as Pac slid in for a brutalizer. Cope, still in the move, slowly powered up to his feet and drove Pac down to the mat with the reset kind of. Cope then hit a spear to the lower back, followed it up with a proper spear, hit a spinning TKO, and pinned Pac to pick up the victory. So they're really playing up the story of the fact that Cope is hurting. Cope is down and out. Cope is barely there, and he barely stole this win. That's what they're playing up, that he is on his last leg. The post-match, Death Riders are shown on the screen. They've got, I want to say it's Cash, tied up in a chair, and the Rock and Roll Express beat down. Claudio then gives 70-year-old Ricky Morton a concerto, and I'm like, holy shit. They really just did that. Moxley then said, hey, Cope, stay right there. And the Death Riders made their way out to the ring. Cope was surrounded. The numbers were immediately too much, and Cope was beaten down by Moxley, Yuta, Castagnoli, and Pac. Yet, out would come Switchblade Jay White, who dispatched of Yuta and Castagnoli in the aisle before dispatching of Pac as well. White then came to the ring, about to hit a Blade Runner, stalled out for a second, and Yuta ran in and gave him a low blow right to the yam bag, as Taz would say. This prevented White from getting what he wanted. White was then beaten down as well, as Moxley slapped a bulldog choke on Cope, wrenching at the neck. Yuta and Castagnoli forced Jay White to watch. Moxley then screamed, I could have broke your neck. But the Death Riders instead left them laying for one more turn. White and Cope were then basically laid out as the Death Riders left to end the show. Again, effective to get the group over as heels. Dastardly, hey, we're going to do anything. We want heels. But I'm kind of over it. Because it's like, where's this going? What's this leading to? What's the end game? What's the goal? Just to get these guys over as dominant heels that can beat the shit out of anybody? Okay, now what? Are we really waiting for Darby? Waiting for Darby to climb Mount Everest, come back, and then beat Mox? If Darby is the sole savior of AEW, he ain't gonna be for a while. We're gonna have to live through this stuff for quite a while. So, yeah. I don't think this is ending anytime soon. Anytime soon. But with that, let me get the poll going here. If you're watching live on Twitch. Twitch. What did you think of Dynamite? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. And let's refresh the other polls as well. Oof. Went over to Twitter and saw one of the worst made graphics I've ever seen. Like, oh my God. I'm not going to call them out or anything, but holy crap. That's a highly accredited wrestling news site making dog shit. Or at least posting dog shit. I don't know who made the graphic for them, but holy shit. I could teach my son to make something better than that in 3 minutes. Holy fuck, that was bad. Like, I don't want to throw shade and say who it was, but, All right, as far as the polls do go, Threads poll, 45% liked the show, 27% thought it was just all right, 27% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 50% didn't like Dynamite, 38% thought it was just all right, and 11% liked it. Oofa. Looking over at YouTube community poll, 65% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 17% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, kind of similar, 61% liked the show, 22% thought it was just all right, and 17% didn't like it. As far as the Twitch poll does go, 75% liked the show, 25% thought it was just all right. As far as some things announced for Collision in next week's Dynamite, you know, in a first-time meeting, Brian May and Tony Storm come face-to-face. This is for Collision. Big Bill will call out Powerhouse Hobbs. Brody King and Buddy Matthews will take on the Gates of Agony. Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker will be taking on the Undisputed Kingdom's Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. As far as next week on AEW Dynamite does go, Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli. If Jeff Jarrett wins, he gets a world title shot. And also, Will Ospreay will go one-on-one with Brian Cage. But with that, guys, that's all we got. That's AEW Dynamite. Those are my thoughts. We heard from you guys a little bit as well as far as the polls do go. And that's all we got. So with that, have a great night. See you next time. We'll be back here live, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. See you back here on Friday for SmackDown. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.